Cześć, dzień dobry, jak się masz? Mam nadzieję, że dobrze. Zapraszam na lekcję. And today's lesson is going to be about one of the most basic verbs that you need to know if you want to communicate effectively in Polish, which is to do. So we're going to learn how to say to do something in Polish. Let's begin. Zaczynajmy. So first of all, the infinitive is robić. Robić. And you can use it, for example, following the verb I like. Do you remember how to say I like? Lubię. Lubię robić zdjęcia. Lubię robić zdjęcia. Co lubisz robić w wolnym czasie? So, w wolnym czasie, in your free time. And now in a sentence, co lubisz robić w wolnym czasie? Now, if you want to say I do or I make something, by the way, we don't differentiate. So one verb means to do and also to make. So I make, for example, breakfast, lunch, dinner. You could use this verb. Robię śniadanie. Robię obiad. Robię kolację. Na przykład, ona teraz robi śniadanie. You could use it to say that someone is doing something now, or also you could use it that someone does or makes something from time to time. For example, ona zawsze robi śniadanie w niedzielę rano. Ona zawsze robi śniadanie w niedzielę rano. Co robicie w weekend? Co robicie w weekend? Do you remember this cie ending? That's you plural. So what do you do at the weekend? But you referring to more than one person. One more time. Co robicie w weekend? Let's conjugate the verb robić. Ja robię. Ty robisz. On, ona, ono robi. My robimy. Wy robicie. Oni, one robią. If you still struggle to understand when you say oni, one, both forms mean they, but which one do you use for whom? Then take a look at this video. Anyway, moving on with the verb robić. Sometimes, maybe if you are a bit familiar with Polish already, you could hear zrobić. Zrobić. Now, zrobić also means to do or to make, but you use it to say that you do something on a certain occasion or for one specific action. And this form, zrobić, does not exist in present. You can use it for the future or for the past. So let's see what the future looks like. Ja zrobię. Ty zrobisz. So what happens? You just conjugate it in exactly the same way as you did with robię, robisz, robimy. You just add the letter Z. And that means that you will do something, you will complete an action. Now, you might remember another way of making future tense, which was będę plus infinitive, będę robić, but that means something more like I will be doing something. So you're talking about a duration, like będę gotować przez 3 godziny. But when you're talking about the result of your action, you will say zrobię. Zrobię obiad. So zrobić you can also use to suggest things for people. Like if you want to say, shall I make you some coffee? Zrobić ci kawę? Zrobić ci kawę? Notice how easy it is to make a suggestion like that in Polish. You just take an infinitive. Zrobić. Zrobić kawę? Zrobić ci kawę? So, shall I make you some tea? How would you say that? Zrobić ci herbatę? If you want to say, shall I make you some tea, but you mean more than one person, it's going to be zrobić wam herbatę. Zrobić wam herbatę. If you're still wondering why it's herbatę and kawę, you might want to look at this video. That's about the accusative case, because robić, zrobić, needs a direct object, which has to be used in the accusative case. But this video is not about that. If you want to understand it better, there are already 2 other videos about the accusative case. But you'll see this from some examples in today's lesson. Well, the past tense. You could say, I was doing something, or I did something, or I've done something. Now, thinking about these 2 forms, robić, zrobić, and how we've used it for the future, can you guess which one you need to use when you want to say, I was doing something? So you're more concerned about the action or the duration of it. That's going to be robić. And in the past is robiłam, ja robiłam śniadanie. And a guy would say robiłem, ja robiłem zakupy. Na przykład, wczoraj robiłem zakupy przez godzinę. And now if you want to say, I did the shopping, I've done it, it's done, you just add the prefix, z. Zrobiłam zakupy. Have you done the shopping? Zrobiłeś zakupy? Zrobiłeś zakupy? Asking a man. And how would you change it if you're asking a woman? The ending will be łaś. Zrobiłaś zakupy? Let's conjugate this one, verb zrobić, in the past. Ja zrobiłem, ja zrobiłam. Ty zrobiłeś, ty zrobiłaś. On zrobił, ona zrobiła. Now the plural. My zrobiliśmy. Mężczyźni mówią. Kobiety mówią, my zrobiłyśmy. Wy zrobiliście, wy zrobiłyście. Oni zrobili, one zrobiły. Na przykład, myślę, że zrobiłyśmy postępy. Zrobiliście dużo zdjęć na wakacjach? Zrobiłaś zakupy? However, if you want to ask a question like, what were you doing on your holiday? Then you'll say, co robiliście na wakacjach? So, because you're asking about an action in progress, you're asking about the action itself, not the result of it. Co robiliście na wakacjach? So, if you're asking co robiliście, who can you ask like that? Could be a question to a group of guys or a mixed gender group. Co robiliście? Now, what about if you're asking a group of women? What was the ending for the group of women? What were you doing on your holiday? Let's ask women. Co robiłyście? Co robiłyście na wakacjach? We often use the verb to do with something to eat or something to drink. Like, shall I make something to eat for you? Zrobić ci coś do jedzenia? Zrobić ci coś do jedzenia? Shall I make something to drink for you? Will be zrobić ci coś do picia? Zrobić ci coś do picia? Hope it has been helpful for you. But of course, this verb, robić, is not the only one that you need to know when you start just to build up your basics of Polish. So you might want to check another video which is about verbs to speak, to talk, to have a conversation, to chat. So if you want to find out about these verbs, you'll see a link to the video at the end of this lesson. To wszystko na dzisiaj. Do zobaczenia. Miłego dnia. Cześć!